Most guitarists stop learning the full extent of the pentatonic scale way too early. But if you really understand how to use them, the pentatonic becomes a playground, not a cage. Today, I'm going to show you how to take the same 5 shapes you already know and use them to solo anywhere on the neck with confidence, expression, and speed. Alright, before we get started with a quick refresher, let's click the like and subscribe buttons. It will really help out the channel. So we're in A minor. You've got 5 pentatonic shapes, and I'll run through them really fast. Now, if there's any confusion, please refer to my previous video where I explain all the shapes, how they're numbered, and the PDF and Guitar Pro files are all available on my Patreon page. Let's also quickly go over the 5 notes of this scale. Since it's the pentatonic scale, penta meaning 5, the notes of this minor scale are A, C, D, E, and G. The difference between the pentatonic and diatonic, or your 7-note scale, is that there's no half steps. Alright, so let's start with our first connection part. So we're going to start with pattern 3. Root on the 5th fret of the low E string. We're going to hit our C, 3rd fret on the A string. We're going to take our first finger here, and we're going to slide it to 5th fret on the A string, or our D note, okay? Notice how the D is what connects those 2 shapes right there. And that's our first doorway across the neck. So most players memorize shapes vertically. But pros, they can think vertically as well as horizontally. And that's the key to unlocking the neck. So let's see how to move through these shapes smoothly. Now we're getting into pro territory. Linking shapes with diagonal movement. We're going to call these visualizations. There's 2 of them. One with the root on the E string, and one with the root on the A string. Ultimately, these are the same scale as your pentatonic, but used in a horizontal way to connect different vertical shapes. So as we can see, these are the same 5 notes we used the whole time, but we were playing them in a more linear approach to connect. These are the things that when I was learning, I missed out on. These simple connectors, when learned, helped me with my memorization as well as my improvisation. Here's a smooth move. Start our visualization on the 5th fret. We will play the C at 3rd fret on the A string, and then add a blues note between D and E, our little E flat here, and add a little vibrato on your target note, and suddenly you're starting to phrase like a pro. Once you're comfortable moving across boxes, it's time to add expression. That's what makes solos memorable. All right, so check this out. In A minor, I'll bend from the 8th fret up to the root. That's the kind of movement that makes your solos sing. There's certain things in our visualization that we're going to want to keep an eye on. So we have our blues notes. All right. Bendable notes, which we can use our 7th, our G, to bend up to A. Or we can use our D, okay, and we can bend it a half step, which is our blues note, and then bend it a whole step to get to E. All right, and we can do that, all over. You need to start thinking in phrases, not patterns. But every phrase should feel like a sentence. You're communicating through these ideas. Your root note, which we discussed in the last video, is the end of your sentence. So make sure to plan where you want your sentence to end. All right, so let's put this all together. We'll start with visualization 1. Play through till we hit pattern number 5, and then give a nice bend at the end to finish the phrase. You'll feel the neck open up underneath your fingers. Drop a comment in the chat if you just discovered a new favorite position. I love seeing where you're soloing from. So that's how to take the pentatonic minor from basic to badass, by connecting shapes, adding expression, and thinking melodically instead of mechanically. If this helped you level up your solos, hit subscribe and be sure to drop your questions in the comments. I would love to do a weekly segment where I answer your questions and start an active community of well-rounded guitar players. Also, as always, the tabs, backing tracks, and guitar profiles are on my Patreon page for free. Just sign in to be a free member and you'll have access to all the lesson files. Until next time, keep practicing, keep progressing, and keep having fun.